actually people used to shit themselves against you on the footy field. So I'm like, does height really matter? Or like, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, like it sort of does. Like I got cut from the under 16s. They picked a squad of 50 and they cut it to 40 and I made that cut. And they cut it to 30 and I made that cut. And I remember the last night of training before they finalised the squad, there was 28 of us and the coach David Dixon sort of calls one guy and you can tell that he's explaining the bad news to him.
Oh, no.
Comes back and joins in and there's another. Sure enough, he sort of cuts me from the squad. And you're pretty shattered, you know, under 16, Vic Metro, you're getting towards your draft year and you're desperate to achieve your childhood dreams. So getting cut's quite a big deal. And he explained to me that he thought I was too small, but he thought I was too slow. Driving home that night, bit disappointed, and the old man basically just said, look, if the coach has said you're too small and too slow, you can't do anything about being too small because that's just genetics. But you can do something about being too slow. David Dixon, who was the Vic Metro under-16 coach, I had a bit of history and a relationship with him, but and he was a great guy, and he didn't pick me for the under-16. So again, I made the squad of 50. I was having an okay year at Oakley Chargers, made the squad of 40. We played some practice matches, made the squad of 30. You know, it gets down to Optus Oval, 27 are there, and there's 25 to get picked again. This is like deja vu, and I've made it to the last night again. And David Dixon cuts one person, devastation, and then he calls me over. And I'm dead set walking to him. Oh, no. 2 years later, thinking, I know what he's going to say. You know, this is the same news he's going to give me like he did at Victoria Park 2 years earlier. He's going to cut so close, but I'm so far away. And he came up to me and said, Campbell, I just want to let you know that you're in the squad. Not because we think you're better than him, or him, but 6 months ago, I went down to Glenferrie Oval to watch Hawthorn train. He said I was in the social club having a beer with a friend, and I saw this kid rock up in his school uniform, get changed, and go out into the middle of Glenferrie Oval and started doing some running, hopping and bounding and skipping and running exercises. I turned to my friend. I said, who's that? And he said, oh, that's Campbell Brown. He comes down here every single Tuesday, has for the last 18 months, runs with Bowden Babicek, the speed and strength and conditioning coach at Hawthorn, because he got cut from a squad a couple of years ago and the coach said he was too slow. Didn't know that he was saying it to the actual guy that said it. Kidding. And David Dixon left that day and went, there's a kid that took the feedback I gave him, went and worked on it for 18 months and came back. And I was a bit quicker, right? I was a bit quicker. But he picked me in the Vic Metro squad purely because he saw that I was desperate enough to go away and work on it. Just goes to show, and I try and tell kids that the harder you work, the luckier you get. Right? 100%. And it's the work, but it's also the perception that they see you doing the work and they know what type of person you are and how dedicated you are and how hungry you are. And that gets you the foot in the door sometimes.
Mate, that is that's one of the most Pete, I reckon that's one of the most inspiring stories we've ever heard on this podcast.